This call is being recorded.
Welcome to the artwork of CP, you guys, formerly known as A Diary of a Fashionista. And for those of you who are new to the show, my name is Win. I am a motivational speaker. For those of you that don't know my as a podcast, Ask Win. And I started Ask Win with my co-pilot, Danielle, my partner in crime, Danielle. 4 years ago, it may have been longer than that, I don't know. But we're going into the next decade of Ask Win and into the next decade of um the artwork from CP, you guys. And Danielle, before we get into the episode, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone, just in case people don't know who you are?
No, no, yeah, 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 for taxi, for raw, because of rain.
Because of when. She blames it, you guys. She blames it all on me. She blames it all on me. She got well. She got into book buying because of me. She got into podcasting because of me. Because of the work I was doing, and I can't do this work alone. And as I had two interesting interviews. One with a woman who runs a podcast called Fading Memories, all about Alzheimer's and dementia. And then I interviewed one of my ex-aides this morning. And so she gave, both of them gave a totally different perspective on helping people with disabilities. And so those episodes will be coming out on us when we won't put any bonuses on the artwork of CP. But I find it ironic that today's topic for the artwork of CP is morning routine. Because even though Danielle can function in the morning by herself, I can't. I can't. So I'm going to start and give a brief overview of what my morning routine looks like, and then you'll understand why I get up at 6:30. Why I get up at 6:30, you'll understand that. And then Danielle's going to give her brief description of her morning routine. And my morning routine is getting back to where it was um, before my dad died. And yes, to give you guys an update, yes, the new aide is working out. Yes, she's wonderful. Yes, she is fabulous. And yes, my old aide slash a friend of mine is working out. And we'll see where it lands up. And now I may bring the woman that literally got me back up on my feet. And I thought I was strong enough to do this. Obviously not. I will bring. We're working on bringing my aide, who was here with me May 19th, on the podcast, even though we're still friends. Um, there's been a little bit of an interesting update, which I won't reveal on the podcast, but we are working on it, and I want her to come on the podcast just again to talk about caregiving for the disabled because, um, as I said, she was the only one here with me on um, May 19th. My chosen family was stuck down in Denver. My biological family was in the Bahamas, and my my dad's family was in Denver, and I haven't seen them since yet. And so basically, I had my aide slash friends surround me on May 19th and get me back up on my feet. And I never thought I would be in that situation, but this is why aides are so useful to me. So we're trying, Danielle and I are trying to get this person back on to come on the podcast. We're working on it, you guys. I thought I had a shot at it, and then it ended up not helping. So we're trying again, and hopefully she will be on the podcast, which will air on Monday, May 19th. Hopefully, a year out of losing my dad, I can bring this aid on the podcast. But you do have a perspective on Monday morning, Lisa and Monkey and Monkut. And so you do have Lisa. So just wait until 2020. And this is going to be my full time job. So, yahoo! I mean, I never thought that motivational speaking would be my full time job, and I get paid for it too. Although I would like to get paid for it more, but the paycheck I get now is my download numbers, and occasionally people nicely send me money. So I want to talk about the morning routine now that it's um, settled down just a little bit. So basically, what I do is get up at 6:30. The alarm goes off at 6:30, and then I typically listen to a podcast, collect my thoughts by 8 a.m., my aides are in this house. By 8 a.m., my aides are in this house. And then my stepmom lives with me. But because my stepmom works full time, I need 24-hour care. And so by 8 a.m., yes, and this is going this is gonna be the most spoiled, rotten child comment ever. I have a breakfast in bed every single morning. Every single morning. And I know we discussed earlier what I what we have for breakfast on an earlier episode, and we discussed that, but I'm gonna give it to you again. I have still cut out every single morning. I gave up the coffee, you guys. So no, I have still cut out and pretty much a glass of water next to my bed. And then my aide, bless their hearts, and I say bless their hearts because um, Lisa did it, CIE did it, Virginia's doing it now, and my friend Rita's doing it. So I say bless my age hearts for putting me in the shower and literally bathing me because what lands up happening is I'm so weak on one side. I'm actually opposite side of the body, so my left hand is weak. My right um my right leg is weak, and yes, that's how I blew my kneecap out over the weekend. I was rolling over in bed and blew my kneecap out on the weaker side. So that's lovely. I have a knee brace on it now. but that's the price you pay for CP. And so they help me in the shower, and how they help me is I stand there, they do what they need to do, and then I do my front areas, and then I get out of the shower, and then they put my bathrobe on or towel on me, and then they get me dressed and physically brush my teeth, which is a challenge depending on how my tone is that day. And on May 19th, I'm surprised I got anything done, quite frankly. And I had another aide, Kristen, come in on May 19th and help me. And so May 19th and May 20th was such a blur. I couldn't I surprised my tone stayed low enough. Looking back on it, for this episode, I'm surprised my tone stayed low enough so that AIDS could stick a toothbrush in my mouth. I mean, it's like, Billy? Billy, your father just died, and well, I guess it's phone call after I got dressed. So, but I knew something was wrong when my sister texted me, your dad's gone back to the hospital. But I'm surprised, and as I said, CP, the reason why I say that, CP can change on a daily 2-minute basis. I mean, you can be having a good day, the next thing we know, we'll be on the ground. And so it's interesting to me that through all this trauma of losing my dad, that my tone has actually not got to the point of high enough where I can function. My scale is when I can hold a spoon gracefully and guide it into my mouth, I'm having a good day. So that is my scale. And so basically, my aides help me get dressed. My aides help me brush my teeth. And then I'm pretty much an independent woman for the rest of the day, and they help me cook, they help me get lunch, and they help me get dinner, and they help me get breakfast, which is a new thing. New thing since my dad died. Um, the aides have always gotten me lunch. My aides, and this includes my friend Rita, who was a former aide, now she's back working with me. The aides have always gotten me lunch, but they have never gotten me breakfast. They have never gotten me dinner when my dad was alive. So that's my morning routine. And Danielle, do you want to take it away?
Yeah. When
When I wake up, I'll check my phone and email. I send out podcast emails if I need to before I get dressed. After I get dressed, I eat breakfast and then get my cat ready for the day. After I get everything done, I'm on my way to the gym to work out.
So, yeah, that's, and I don't do, mind you, magic of scheduling and humans with iPhones and CP. I don't do the scheduling for my podcast. Danielle does all that. So, of course, she, does it at earlier times. You might receive a email at interesting hour, because Danielle and I have a pretty consistent and tight schedule. I mean, geez, because Danielle and I are fairly self sufficient, but when it comes to morning routines, we need a little bit of help just because of CP. Just because of CP, we need help, and that's the facts about CP. We need help, and so I appreciate all you guys who are caregivers out there. And as we go into 2020, just when you're dealing with caregivers and all levels of disabilities, just respect them. And I say that with love. And um, now that I don't have a living aid anymore, and I miss it, I miss it. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, AIDS, go away. but at but at the time, I really, really needed a living aid because I didn't know whether and living aid, who you guys will eventually meet, um, the living aid at the time, I didn't know whether I was going to wake up in the middle of the night, and because my stepmom is in the master bedroom. If I pop my kneecap out now, I guess I should. I'm thinking on my um, I'm thinking on my feet here. She doesn't. My stepmom, we have an intercom in this house, but my stepmom doesn't know how it works. And so if I called on that, it's easier to get her via text. But yeah, and it was easier to get my aid via text. But if I caught my kneecap out in the middle of the night because I was weak in dealing with grief and dealing with CP, I could always knock on the door, and if worst came to worst, I would be able to call upstairs. If worst came to worst, I would call 911 on my own, and then call my mom. That's what I would probably do: call 911 on my own. And the only thing, I'm not mentally fragile at night anymore. I was, but not anymore. The only thing I'm really concerned about is having my kneecap pop out in the middle of the night so severely that it won't pop back in. But so far so good on that. So do I miss having a lemonade? Yes. Do I like having my own private space and having them not be in my space 24/7? Yes, but it's all up to you guys. If you love the one with CP, and I'm not calling it a childhood disability anymore because it's adulthood disability, and two, you're just born with it as a child, and so if your child needs 24/7 care, there's ways you can do it. Trust me, I did, and trust me, it's it's been an interesting time with a not only a living aid, but I the loss of my dad. It's been an interesting time. So now I'm strong enough to have age leave me. But at the time, as of May 19th, I wasn't strong. I was dealing with grief and with the stress of losing my dad and beginning my own life. I needed that comfort of a person right next door because I didn't know whether I was going to wake up and not be able, and I'm a dead serious when I say this, not be able to walk to the bathroom. And that's how bad CP can get. That's how bad CP can get. And I'm always, let's just say this, I'm thankful for what I have in CP, and I wish it was better. I wish it was better, guys, but it's not. My CP is getting worse. It's not. I mean, it's not getting to the point where I'm bedbound, but it's getting worse to the point where I won't be. I will be able to stand up on my walker, but the walking independently end of it will never come because my legs are not strong enough to hold me. And trust me, I tried for 1 year with my dad saying you gotta learn how to walk, and then he got all hell broke loose, and he got what he got, which was lung cancer. Spent 9 days in this room when I'm recording a podcast. Then my aide moves in, and then more heck breaks loose. And so I'll be on a walker until the day I die, unless they do stem cell on me, which stem cells is not viable in the United States, and stem cells you have to go to a foreign country for that, and stem cells are certainly not covered by insurance. And I'm actually bringing a Medicare expert on my podcast, and we're going to have a deep dive about Medicare and Medicaid on this podcast on Ask When, and maybe do a bonus episode on the artwork of CP because I am, God knows I'm trying to be functioning as a woman with cerebral palsy, and it's not easy. And these caregivers, all my caregivers, know that nowadays. And I'm thankful for the ones that were with me on May 19th. One, I am actually two, not one, two with me on May 19th. And then I'm also thankful for my friends and family to keep me going, but yet my family has no clue, my biological family, and this is public knowledge, so I don't mind sharing this. My family, my chosen family, and my aides know more about CP than my biological family. And so that's why I'm relying on my chosen family, and that's why I'm relying on my stepmom, and that's why I'm relying on aides that are here with me today as I record this podcast, and that's why I am relying on so many people. And even though Danielle has a totally different situation, well, I do, her family, her biological family seems to get cerebral palsy, which she's lucky. She's got the lucky thing on that one. But CP is a very complicated disability. Yes, it's a neurological disability. CP, I could wake up tomorrow morning and you guys could hear this podcast and I could lose all my capabilities to walk. And I, by the grace of God, I am still up, I'm still moving, and yeah, but if I don't maintain the if I don't maintain the CP at the level it's at now, I will be bedbound, and that's a scary thought. At bedbound, and sorry about that, you guys. My headphone just died. And as I said, bedbound in this house is a scary thought. So, but CP could change on to a dime. CP could change on a dime. And so let's be grateful for the friends and family we do have and the caregivers that we do have. And you'll along this journey you get to meet some of my caregivers. You will, and my caregivers will always remain friends. As I told Lisa, my caregivers will always remain friends, and us together will educate the world about CP. And so it's been a very interesting ride. And I didn't know that in the middle of last win that my dad was going to die. And I didn't know that my life was going to change forever. And when I am ready to talk about something, I will be ready to talk about. Oh, Danielle knows what it is. And when I'm brave enough to say what I need to say on my heart, um, sometime in 2020, I can there has been not only 2019 was an interesting year. It started out well, but it ended crappy. But not only 2019 was an interesting year, but the day after my 20 my my 20 listen to me. My 32nd birthday, something did happen which I haven't told any of my podcasts yet. I'm slowly getting ready to tell you guys when I'm ready to tell you guys, and it what it's going to be a shocking. It shocks me. It shocks my aide Celia at the time. It shocks my friends, and it shocks my chosen family that my biological family did something that I'm not quite ready to talk about, but when I am, I will be ready to talk about it, and you guys will be shocked. And yeah, you guys will be shocked, and Danielle and I offline will go pick a date, and then we will talk about it, and then Danielle will be here to support me, and everyone else will be here to support me. And as I said, I'm working on slowly but surely bringing my aides, all my aides on the podcast. Lisa was the first one, and then I'm working on bringing all my aides on the podcast, and maybe my mom, maybe my stepmom will be thrown in there. I don't know. And so, yeah, but I wanted to explain to you guys, we wanted to explain to you guys about our morning routines. And Danielle, do you want to say anything else?
Oh, yeah. You for uh, uh,
Well, thanks, you guys, and thank you for also following Ask When, Jesus, you guys, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Ask When now has reached 12,700 downloads over the time of transferring podcasts out. I don't know what magical sauce I'm putting on Ask When, and so But just be aware of those caregivers, and let's teach the world about cerebral palsy, you guys. Thanks, you guys. Bye.
Bye.